Okay, I thought I'd do this part separately. We went over this in class, but I just thought I'd go through it again in case you missed out. You should have this slide of questions to help jot notes about how you can tell your blood type, or how you can tell other blood types, and what blood type can be given to a person who has a certain blood type, or what type of blood can be given to a person who has a certain blood type. So, hopefully these slides will help a little bit and support them. So the first question was, what category or type of molecule are the special factors on the outside of red blood cells that determine your blood type? So the answer is glycoproteins. So if you remember when we learned about cells and cell membranes, there's different types of proteins that are embedded in the membrane. And one type was the glycoprotein. And so basically there's a protein part, and then there's a sugar part that sticks out, and that is for identification. So in us, the sugar part sticking out from the red blood cells can have certain markers that tell whether they're, well, basically they identify them as self. But if you end up with being given blood that has different markers on it that your body doesn't recognize as self, in other words, it thinks, you're foreign, then your body is going to attack it, and it can cause you to die. So it's really important that you get the right type of blood if you're given blood. Okay, so different markers have different sugar parts on them. So we're going to look at the different blood types. Second question, which factors or markers are found on the outside of each blood type? So if they have the identifiers or markers on them that are A's, or the sugar parts that are A, then this would be type A blood. If they have B, then this would be type B blood. So letter-wise, it's pretty simple. If it's type AB blood, they have both A's and B's sticking out. And if it's type O, then they have no markers. Okay, they don't have any sticking out. So which type can your body accept? So if you are type A blood, then you would have to get the same markers on the blood that's coming into you, or blood that has no markers. So in other words, if you're type A, then you can only get type A or type O. If you're type B, then you can get type B or type O. If you're type AB, then that means that you would recognize type A as self, type B as self, type AB as self, or even O would be okay. If you're type O, though, the only type that you can receive is type O blood. Okay? Otherwise, your body would recognize the blood as foreign, and the markers act like what we call antigens. And antigens are things that bring about an immune response. Okay, so it could be a protein on the outside of a cell, or it can be different things on the outside that your body would recognize as being foreign, and causes antibodies to be produced. It will surround the cells, and it causes your blood to clump and coagulate in terms of if it's a blood type. Okay, so the danger is if your blood does that, then your blood cells can crack and let out toxins that can kill you. What's the most common blood type? O positive and A positive are most common. Least common is AB negative. But there are differences. That is, there's differences according to race and ethnic background. So that's in general the most common and the rarest. What does it mean to be positive or negative? So we had talked about that too. Basically, if you're positive, it means you also have another factor, another glycoprotein with another sugary part sticking out. It's called the rhesus factor. So that means if you are positive, then it's okay for you to have positive or negative blood. But if you're negative, then you would not be able to get positive blood from someone. Because if you got positive blood, then your body would say, oh no, there's extra things sticking out on those blood cells. I need to attack it. Okay, so if you are a negative blood type, then you cannot receive positive. But if you're positive, you can receive both negative or positive. For instance, this is just to explain it a little further. If you're A positive, you can get A positive or A negative, or you could get O positive or O negative. If you are A negative, though, you can only receive negative blood. So you could get A negative, because it would be exactly like yours, or you could get O negative because it doesn't have any factors sticking out. Okay. What's one of the key things that we hear about in terms of the blood type and pregnancy? They'll always check the mother's blood type, because if you're not careful, then the mother could reject the baby. So if the mom is negative blood type and the baby is positive, then the baby has extra factors that the mother would recognize as being foreign. So the doctors would have to give the mother certain medication before birth so that the mother wouldn't reject the baby or attack the baby. Okay, so there is a danger whenever you're giving birth, and they will check your blood type and the baby's blood type. I think that's it for this section. So, yep. Okay, so that one was just on blood types and how we tell blood types and who can receive what type of blood. Okay, so you might be asked to do something like do a little sketch of blood cells and explain what type they can receive, that sort of thing. But hopefully that will help you for if you are having trouble figuring out for, let's see, if we go into the online lab, online heart lab. Okay, so in this case, the first one, you were supposed to check and see what blood type they had. Play this blood typing game and figure out what you can give them. Okay, so we're going to play the blood typing game. And I'm only going to do one little quick thing, okay? We're going to skip the intro. You have 3 patients, basically. Okay, and if you hover in different spots, then it will give you hints and tips. Okay, which one are we going to check? Let's go for the man. Okay, what kind of blood type does this patient have? Can you blood type him and provide him with the proper types of blood? What blood type can you give him? Okay. So, we got to get his blood. Gonna take his blood. Oh, helps if you don't use his sleeve. Okay, so we're gonna put his blood into this tube and see if it coagulates. Oh, nope, didn't coagulate. Okay, so now we're gonna try B. Oh, nope, didn't coagulate with that one. Oh, it clumped with the RH. Okay, so you'd say no clumping for A, no clumping for B, but it does clump for RH, which means that it doesn't have A factors, it doesn't have B factors, but it does have RH. So you should be able to tell what blood type they are and what you can give them for blood. Now I'm going to give them a wrong type of blood and see, oh, what's going to happen if I give them the wrong type of blood? Oh no! And it tells you what happens if you give them the wrong type of blood. Okay, so that should help you answer another question in there. But once you figure out what blood type they are, they don't have A's, they don't have B's, so letter-wise, you know what letter they should be. And then RH does clump, so you know they have RH. Okay, so are they positive or are they negative if they have RH? So you can tell what blood type. Then you can tell, oh, which type can I give them? Okay, test it out, play with it. You can figure out the rest. Okay, that's just to help a little bit.